Hi, I'm Tallulah with Harmonic Speech Therapy, and at Margot's request, I am going to make a video with a little bit about what I know about makeup. So, I don't wear makeup most of the time, but occasionally I do, and I have my favorite products. I highly recommend Beautypedia if you want to go look at ingredients for different makeup to make sure that the one that you choose isn't going to be irritating to your skin. But in general, there's no magic brand. It's finding products that work for you that aren't irritating. So when I'm going to do my makeup, the first thing I'm going to put on is moisturizer, which I already have on my face. Some people like to put on a primer. The one that I have is Julep Blank Canvas Mattifying. It's a treatment primer, so I put it on with my fingertips. So I put a little bit on, just a little bit, rub it together, and rub it in all over my face. There's some that are really silky that some people like to use. You can kind of find one. You don't really need a primer if you have a moisturizer, but it is something that you can do if you want to kind of have an even surface. The next thing that I do is I put on foundation. This is for a full makeup face. So I'm going to use Tarte Amazon Clay Tinted Moisturizer. I like this one because it has some SPF in it, which is helpful for your skin. The color I have is Agent 00. Everyone's going to have a different color. So we're just going to put a little dab. I use my fingers and I'm going to rub it into my skin all over until I get the coverage that I'm looking for. Now, if you're looking to cover a beard, like you've already shaved but you have a little bit of stubble, then you can have it where you put on your foundation first and then you use some color corrector afterwards. That is an option. I do not have a beard that I need to cover, but I do have acne, so I'll show you the concealer part of it. So we're just working this around, kind of evening out our skin tone. I keep wanting to go to the opposite side because it's flipped for the computer. I have a mirror down here I should probably paying more attention to. And we're just looking to get even skin tone all around, and we want to sort of blend it in along the edges because we don't want people to be able to see where the line of our foundation starts and stops. Get it just all over, nice and blended in. And then I'm going to do a little bit around my eyes. Dark circles can be a concern. I have a little bit of color around my eyes. Some people have more, and this is something that you can do. One of the things that you can do to help with smoothing out the color around your eyes. And then I am going to rub in the last little bit of foundation onto my hands. I'm going to keep going. We have a little bit, just enough coverage for me. You might like a foundation that has more coverage. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cover up my acne. So this is a product I like a lot. It looks like a pencil, which is very cute. It is Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer. I've probably purchased maybe like 30 concealers trying to find the right one. So I like to have a little brush that I'm going to put my concealer on my hand, and then I'm going to use my brush where I get a little bit of the concealer, and then see, I can do this using my mirror. I'm just going to dab it on, and then I'm going to feather it out with the brush. I find if I do it this way, then I don't get any lines. so you can't quite tell where the concealer starts and stops, which is what I am going for. And then if I feel like that first coat wasn't enough, I might go back into the middle and just add in a little bit more and blend it in so that I don't see acne, which is what I mostly care about on my face for covering. Sometimes people like to cover freckles, so I'm going to show you. We can use the concealer that's thicker. This is the thicker concealer, and we can do the same thing. We're just going to feather out wherever it is that we're covering up. I am, because I'm under my eye, I'm going to blend it out with my finger and then dab it on. Turn my light back on. There we go. Just rub it in. So that's kind of a little bit blended in. If you want more coverage, again, you can put on more. I do have a little bit on my chin that I want to cover up. So this tends to be the area that I get a little bit more acne in. Just always a good reminder not to touch my face. And I can just blend in my concealer. There's a stippling technique you can use. So if you're trying to cover up the sort of beard shadow, where you would first go in with your color corrector and then you'd sort of like work in your concealer afterwards with the stippling technique. That's an option, which I'm not doing a great job of demonstrating right now because I don't have the color corrector, but that's kind of the idea. So I'm pretty comfortable with not having everything matte. You can still sort of see my skin underneath, but the acne that was bothering me is invisible, which is what I like to use skin products for. Now there is a little bit of color underneath my eyes that I'd like to cover up. So I have a different concealer that I like to use under my eyes. This one is Estee Lauder Double Wear, and it is 1C Light Cool. So let's talk for a moment just about color picking. So I know from my experience that I have cool undertones and that my color tends to be whatever the second from the bottom is. So if there'll be a color that's very, very pale that has a cool undertone, and I'll be the one that's one step right above that. And some people have warm undertones, and olive skin tends to be warm undertones, or if you have a neutral undertone, you might be able to use it for either, or if your skin doesn't have a strong undertone, finding a place that you can test it out on your hand and see what matches is really good for color matching. Let me just go over real quick. The Boing Benefit concealer I have is 0A01, which I assume is second from the bottom, which is what I tend to be. So I'm going to go back to this Estee Lauder, and I'm going to put a little bit on my hand, and then I'm going to put it under my eyes. So I'm just going to rub it back and forth while I look up, and I'm trying to get it just blended in, and then I'll sort of let myself relax a little bit because I want to make sure that I don't get any in the creases. Then I'll do the other side. I'm just going to go back and forth and relax so I can rub it all in, and then I'm going to get just a little bit extra. So there is a dark line on this inner part that sometimes people like to cover up a little bit. So I'm going to rub the concealer in here as well. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Typically do both sides for everything when we do our makeup, unless for some reason we don't intentionally want to match. But it's just a little less dark, basically, is what the point of that is. So now I'm going to transition into doing my upper eyelids. Now, I don't have any foundation on my upper eyelids. So I'm going to put a primer, and I'm not going to tell you which one because I don't like it. So you're going to have to find a better primer, and when you find it, I want you to tell me. But I'm just going to rub a little bit of primer. So I do like the product. My issue with it is that there's some ingredients that are a little bit irritating. And so I want to find one that has no irritating ingredients whatsoever. And I can let y'all know in the comments if anyone suggests one that I like. So next I'm going to add in some shadow. So I like this palette. It's by MAC. It's called In the Flesh. I don't really like using glittery eyeshadow most of the time. I like using matte, and this has a really good collection of natural looking colors. So this is probably a good point to know about me doing makeup, is that my intention with my makeup is that you can't really see that I have any makeup on it at all. And some people like to have a more made up look. So that would not be what we're going for here. So I am going to use my mirror a little bit. I'm going to put the, the shades are not marked. So I'm going to put this middle shade here that is matte, and I'm going to put it underneath my eyebrow and kind of blend it down. And I'm going to do the same on both sides. And then I'm going to have a little bit, the color that's right next to it is a little bit creamier. It's very peach, and I'm going to go ahead and rub that in all over my eyelid. Now, some people are really good with eyeshadow techniques, and they can get creases, and that is not what I do. But I highly encourage you to learn how to apply shadows if you like that look. So this is my very almost, you can't tell I'm wearing eyeshadow. Now I'm going to keep going one more, and this is what I'm going to do along the side. So just coming in on this bottom part and the outside going in, a little bit on both eyes. And this is kind of the area where if we were doing shadows, we'd go in on this line more. And then I'm just going to make sure that we didn't get any here. Have a very neutral look. And you can add lots more colors. There's very pretty colors in this palette. And I'm going to show y'all my other palette, which I'm not going to put on right now. This is not a very natural look, but it's wonderful. This is the Tarte High Tides and Good Vibes, and it is glitter. And I love this glitter because it doesn't move the way a lot of glitters do, but not very natural looking. Okay, so now I'm going to come back and I'm going to add some blush. So I have Merle Norman Luxiva Lasting Cheek Color in Soft Pink. And I have, that it comes with a brush, but I like this brush better. So a little bit bigger with an angle. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to do closer here on the ball of my cheek. This is something I learned from a friend who liked Japanese blush, and I feel like it's a younger look than the sort of like broad sweeping blush. Then I'm going to come back now that I put all of my different colored powders, and I'm just going to do a little bit of Color Science Pressed Mineral Foundation in Cool Fair All Dolled Up. And I'm just going to go around the different things that I've done and try to get everything covered in a little bit of powder and smoothed out. I do like to powder prior to when I'm going to do mascara, and I also do put it everywhere. So everything that I've done so far, I'm just setting in place with a little powder. I don't have any translucent powder here, but I do like translucent powder a lot. So that is another good option. Now, one thing I really like to do is I like to put white eyeliner on the bottom of my eyes. So this one is NYX 906 white, and it really is just white liner. So I'm gonna take this here, and I'm gonna go in on my waterline, and I have to rub it a couple of times to warm it up. And once the color is coming off, then I'm just gonna rub it back and forth along that water lane and on the bottom, and then I'm gonna go a little bit in my crease and up on the top, but inside. And so I'm just getting that outline that I'm using to make my eyes look a little bigger. I feel like that's the look I'm going for. Some people like to have a darker look. And I find that people who go for a darker look tend to not do it on the waterline as much, and to do it more on the outside of the lashes. And then I'm going to, let's see if this is what I want. So this is Winky Lux Unibrow Universal Brow Pencil, and it has a little bit of color here. So I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna add a little bit of color here at the beginning, and then I don't know if you can tell that they kind of disappear off to the end. So I really want to add in a little bit in small short brush strokes because I don't want it to stand out, and just fill in any area so that I have a little bit bolder brow. And then I'm gonna do the other side, and just little small strokes, filling it in so that I have a brow that shows up. There is no gaps. And then I'm gonna do a couple of things to finish that up. So this has a little brush at the end of it. So after I put on my color, I'm just gonna brush them a little bit. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use my finger to smooth out the edge to make sure that I didn't get any color where it's rough. And then I have a little bit more of a shape to my brow, which I like. Some people don't like as much color. They like to have smaller brows, kind of up to you. Now, I'm going to come back in, let's see, put on lipstick. It fell. So I love this lipstick. It almost looks like I don't have on any lipstick. I think I'm almost out, but it is Luxiva Lip Gaze in Pillow Talk by Merle Norman. It is a very, very pale shade. So it does have a little bit of a shine, which is the only thing I don't like about it. After I put it on, I do rub my finger. It's a very peachy color. I like it a lot. There's another product in here that I'm not doing right now. You have to be really particular with how you put them on, but they're by Julep, and they're called Matte Lip Mousse. This one's an Ultimate Petal, and they have a little brush. You're very careful with just doing it on your lips, but the nice thing is that they stay all day and they don't crack. I have a few colors of them. Okay, now I'm gonna come back to my eyes. So this is a curler, and it has a little pad under here. And so I am not sure if you can watch me do this because I have to get closer to the mirror. Let me see, maybe I can use my little mirror. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take the curler and I'm going to rest it above the lashes, and then keeping it in place, I am going to bring it closed, then open it. I never want to move it when it is touching my lashes. Now I'm going to do it around the outside. Same thing. Come down, touch the lashes, squeeze it close, hold it for a few seconds, and then let it go. Other side, bring it down until it's touching my lashes, and squeeze it close. Let it close for a few seconds. And again, we're just squeezing them, getting a little bit of curl. And at this point, I might want to just do a little bit of separation to make sure that my eyelashes aren't going to stick together when I put on mascara. So I have a couple of mascaras in here right now. This one's Tarte Man Eater. The important thing with mascara is that you really don't want any clumps. So what I do is I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to rub it on the inside of the container, pulling it out, which is going to take any extra color off. You can also just use a piece of toilet paper or a tissue to take off some of the color. And then I'm going to look up towards the ceiling as much as I can and out at the brush. And with little quick dabs, just add a little bit of mascara. And I'm going to do the other side. If I do want more, I'm going to want this to dry first. Otherwise it'll kind of build up. And I want to make sure I get some in the corners. I don't do my bottom lashes. I know that some people do. And then it's really important to me to have a more natural look. So I'm going to come back in here and I am going to separate my lashes. Just going over them with the comb. And I feel like I really got a little bit more mascara on one side than the other. So I might want to just touch it up a little bit, where again, I'm going to clean off the brush to make sure I don't get any clumps. And then I'm just going to add a little bit on this side so it matches better. And then bring it all the way in here. And then once I have that eyeshadow or that mascara everywhere I want it, then I might want to just come through with my brush, using the sharp side now, making sure that all my lashes are separated. So this is me fully made up. It's definitely not a very high makeup look. I can go through a couple other products I have in here. So if I want to take off my makeup, there are actually cloths that'll rub it off, but if I want to use a product, I use Dermablend Long Wear Makeup Remover, and it's just a liquid, and I can rub my makeup off with my hands, wash it off. This is, let's see, not trying to think what else I have in here that I actually would recommend. So I really don't have a lot. This one's great. You can tell I loved it because I literally can't tell what it is anymore, and it has none left, but I think it's a Neutrogena product. It was another really light pale pink. So I actually have a whole bunch of eyeliners. Eyeliners are really fun. You can do them on top of your lashes before you put on mascara. And I like all of these. I just didn't use them today. Urban Decay has really, really nice eye pencils. This one is Zero, which is a silver. No, this one's black. So I have a different one that's silver. Let me see. I think that's, I do not have a silver, or at least I don't have it in here. I like silver, but these are like more dramatic colors. So this one, I believe, is a dark purple, Tarina Tarantino. So these are a couple dark ones, and then this one from Clinique is dark chocolate. So this is probably the most natural of the eyeliners. And then I believe this is a rose gold julep when pencil met gel rose gold shimmer, which is a really pretty color. It needs to be sharpened. So I can tell I've used it some. Okay, This is one of my favorite eyeliners, very not natural looking, but it's Urban Decay Heavy Metal, and these come in a lot of different colors. You can get them in gold and blue, and they're a ton of fun if you're going for the more glitter fantastic look. This is an alternative product. So I know Clinique has some lip sheers that are popular. This one is Hydrating Lip Sheer Crimson, and it doesn't say the brand. Oh no, it does. It's Julep. So it's a pale color. I like it. It's that one happens to be closer to a red. What else do I have in here? Oh, so these are interesting. I don't really think any of the colors are super natural looking on me, but they're another product that you can put on your lips and have it last for a long time and not get the caking. This one's Bella, and it's literally hot pink, so you can see that there's times that I do makeup that's a little bit less natural looking. But those are my products. Those are what I like. I hope that was helpful. Maybe give y'all a little bit of tips from someone who isn't super into makeup, but does like to wear it from time to time. Y'all have a lovely evening. Again, I am Tallulah Breslin from Harmonic Speech Therapy. Bye.